Hello all, just a quick review of Prey, or Disney Princesses versus Aliens. I'm not going to bury the lead, it's an average film. It's fine, probably better than The Predator, though mainly just because it's a very simple story rather than anything else. In case you don't know, a Comanche girl wants to be a hunter. She becomes aware of the Predator being out there. People don't believe her, kind of like a Jaws situation. It's just really an average film. I didn't find it particularly exciting. I don't know whether that was the direction, whether it was the speed or pace of it, or whether it was the music, because there's a bit where there should be tension, because it was a thing that I've seen in multiple films before. I won't say what it was. No tension whatsoever in it. It was very strange. But yeah, positives, it was beautiful. The landscape was beautiful. The scenery was beautiful. I thought her brother was very charismatic. I quite liked him. She was fine. She wasn't really given a lot to do, and that seems weird considering she was the protagonist of the film, but she doesn't really get to do much acting, if you like. I don't know. I mean, she's fine. Obviously, she does stuff. She's the protagonist after all, but it is just stuff. There's no emotional depth to it. Her character is pretty much oppressed woman. The problem is she's not particularly oppressed, so that doesn't really give her much range to work with. The Predator looks very, very cool, kind of primal almost. I'm slightly confused as to why he's kind of got similar technology to the other aliens, but he's wearing a skull helmet, so I'm not quite sure how that's got technology in it to do that, but there you go, that's one of those things. Clearly it's kind of set up with the Moana sense, or Brave, where the girl is kept back and not allowed to do anything, and she strikes out on her own and she goes on an adventure on her own. The problem is she isn't held back. They say at a certain point, or her brother does, because her brother's encouraging her to be a hunter. He's encouraging her. He tells the other Comanches to let her come with them because she's a good hunter and a good tracker. You're good with a bow, you're good with an axe, you're a good tracker. So no one's ever held you back. Even her mother kind of would rather she didn't do it, but there's no sense at which anyone says to her, you shouldn't be doing this, you can't be doing it. And clearly she's been trained. Because you don't become a good tracker off your own back. You've got to be shown. You don't become a good hunter or good with a bow without someone showing you these things. So who was holding her back? The expectations of what a woman does, maybe. There's one altercation with the hunting party, but that seems more like they're just a bit pissed off that when they tell her to go back with them, she refuses because she wants to go and help her brother. That was the weirdest thing for me. It's kind of presented as this, yay whammon, but there's no sense to me that she's ever held back by anybody. Especially as the film goes on, and there's a particular point where she shows some amazing fighting skills. And I've got no problem with her amazing fighting skills. I mean, she does it with speed and skill rather than brute force. But who trained her? If she was being held back, how come she could fight so well? It's kind of a nonsense narrative that's in the film. There's a cringeworthy bit where a little girl kind of looks at her with kind of adoring eyes because she's achieved something. It's like, where's this little girl come from? Never seen this little girl before. I mean, yeah, great. This girl is now empowering you to be better than you are. Great, but who was this little girl? And who was stopping her doing that anyway? It's just a very weird story. Can I recommend it? It's fine. There's some really good action in it. There's some gore, although a lot of it happens off camera. There's some great deaths. I say the Predator looks very threatening. It's also very slow to start. Spend a lot of time with her wandering around the hillside. She is your typical Mary Sue because she doesn't earn anything she's got. She's smarter than the boys. She's a better fighter than the boys. She's a better tracker than the boys. She knows more about hunting than the boys. Someone trained her with all this stuff and nobody stopped her. As I say, weird. Sure, there are times when you have films like this where a male character, a female character are very, very capable at the start. But usually what happens is you get flashbacks which explain where they got the skills from. You have that student-teacher moments. And that just never happens in this film. And I don't know why. Presumably it was her father who showed her how to do these things. But for some reason, and I'll leave that one to your imagination, it's not actually in here. But as a film, if you can ignore all that, and fair enough, it's easy enough to ignore, it's okay. If you have a spare hour and 40 minutes, stick it on, see what you think. It's fine. Personally, I'd suggest watch Predator 1 and 2 instead, which are both 100 times better than this film. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Just a quick promo for my comic, which is available from my website, and link is in the description below. Peace out.